let's talk about our next IELTS reading skill, which is skimming the passage for the main topic. So we're just going to talk about some skills to practice for this type of reading skill, and then we're going to talk about a sequence of steps to use in the reading exam to help you read more effectively. And then we're going to be practicing with an example. So in the exam, you'll get something like this, although of course it will be bigger than this example. I couldn't fit a whole example on the page. So you'll get a passage that will be longer than this, and they will write what is the main topic of the whole passage, and then they'll give you a few options. So for this one, we've got 4. It could be 3, not normally 2, but there'll be a few different options, and you have to read the whole thing and then choose what you think the correct option is about the main idea for all the paragraphs. So some key skills for this to develop to improve for the exam. So number 1 is speed reading. So this is the ability to read quickly while picking up some key ideas. So this is something you can practice, but you can find the words in each sentence as you go through. So you can practice reading things quickly, finding the key ideas of each sentence and the main ideas overall. Number 2, identifying main ideas. Like I said, identifying the subject in each of the sentences. And if you see a regular subject in a paragraph, then that is the main idea of the paragraph. And number 3, recognizing text structure. So that's understanding where the introduction is, where the middle is, where the end is, and that can help you understand the type of text that they have in the exam. So understanding how the passage is organized and identifying topic sentences. And selective attention. Focus on headings, subheadings, and key phrases to get a sense of the content. So if it's a newspaper article, you might have some subheadings that show you what the newspaper article is about. Or if it's something about science, then there'll be headings above the paragraphs. Something like biological interest. And if you see something like that as a subheading, then you know what the topic is in the exam. So these are some skills to develop, and in the next video we're going to talk about a sequence of steps for doing this type of reading task in the exam. Okay, so let's talk about our next reading skill, which is matching headings. Now this is a really important and common skill for the exam. So in this part, I'm just going to be talking about some skills for helping you improve your ability to match headings. We're going to look at a strategy for the exam and be looking at a quick example. So in the exam, you'll get something that looks like this, although it will be bigger. There will be some paragraphs that you'll get in the exam, and then it will ask you to match some headings to the paragraph, like A, B, and C. Now, your job is to use a few of these skills to help you match these paragraphs. So the first skill is skimming. Now, this means quickly reading through the passages to get the general idea of each paragraph. Now, this is something you can practice. You can have a look at what the subject is of each sentence. You can also have a look at whether the paragraph is giving examples of something. That can really help you. And then there's also identifying the main ideas. So you can focus on finding the central theme of each paragraph rather than getting stuck on the details. So if you see that most of the sentences are talking about food, then you know that that paragraph is about food. Or if most of the paragraphs are talking about roads, then you know that that paragraph is about roads. And in this part, we're going to be doing a lot of practice activities so that by the end of the unit, you will be really good at this. Now, the next set of skills are synonyms and paraphrasing. So recognizing synonyms and rephrased ideas, since the headings may not use the same words as the text. So before, you might have the question talk about cuisine, like the heading could mention French cuisine, but the paragraph talks about food in general and doesn't actually say the word cuisine. Now, in that context, you need to know that cuisine is similar to food or connected in some way, although not exactly the same thing. And that's a skill you can practice before the exam. And the final skill is time management. So making sure that you practice enough that you speed up your skills for doing this type of task in the exam, and making sure you leave enough time at the end of the reading exam to finish anything that you're working on.